God. Okay, what am I looking at here?
Those are email sign-offs.
No, the video?
Oh, that's my desk.
Girl. I'm gonna put that in the show.
I was gonna say, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, right?
Welcome back, guys. This is Sarah.
And I'm Erika.
And we are Living Understaffed.
The podcast about not having enough hands or hours and when your best is just not very good.
100%. And actually today, I am recording from Hawaii. Hell yeah. Because that's the goal. That's the goal. I want to be fully remote and still be able to, do our creative shit and do the podcast and still all that jazz. So actually right now it is 1:30 in the afternoon for me, but it is 7:30 p.m. for Erika. Trying to figure out, how I was going to plan in recording time on vacation has been kind of messy, but it's fine. We'll figure it out.
The fact that you actually did, though, is great because I don't know if I would have been able to.
There's something to be said for being on vacation in a truly extraordinary place. This place has blown my mind a few times already, and I'm only on one island, and I've only seen small portions of it,
Yeah.
But I'm also very respectful of myself on that self-care level where this is a vacation. And yes, I want to see the things and I want to do the things and I want to do all that stuff. But also it's a vacation. So I need to have a little bit of downtime. And to my own detriment, on day one of me coming here, my brother and my sister-in-law both had to work. So they were like, here's keys to the car, go to the beach. And I'm like, say
less.
Thank you. So I go to the beach, lube myself up with some suntan lotion, but I fell asleep on my stomach in the sand. My back is wildly sunburned. And my back isn't so bad anymore, but it's the shoulders where is where the pain is really concentrated. And so you can see a little bit. Ooh. But yeah, spray aloe with lidocaine has been my best friend for the last couple of days. So also on a, self-care level, I also haven't been going out in the sun a whole lot because my back hurts. So tourist level 100, that's me. Would I do it again? Yes, because the day on the beach by myself for 6 hours, the beach was practically fucking empty. And I haven't told Erika this yet, and I'm really excited to tell you on the show. I want you to meet Crush. Because he's absolutely adorable, and he commemorates my day at the beach because a fucking sea turtle swam right next to me and touched my fucking leg, and I almost had a panic attack in the water and drowned myself because I was like, oh my God. It was...
What is that?
So I am a water baby. I think I've explained this before. I am 100% a beach lover, lake lover, not so much rivers because I'm weird about stuff, but I love the water. I love being on the beach. I love being on a boat. I love being next to water. Give it to me every day. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
People pay wild amounts of money, especially in a very heavily funded tourist area, to swim with the sea turtles, to go see the baby turtles hatching from the beaches, which I still want to see. That's on a life level. I still want to see that. But I'm in the water, I'm treading, and I'm literally spinning. I'm spinning, treading water, looking at the mountains on this side, looking at the ocean on this side, looking at Honolulu on this side. It is beautiful. And I, in my, how to explain it, in my grateful era, and I'm treading water and I'm looking at the mountains and I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is amazing. And then I spin and I see all these surfers and all these boats and these people that are paragliding or whatever. And I'm like, God, this is so fucking cool. And then I spin a little bit more and there's Honolulu with these beautiful buildings that are mixed with skyscrapers and all this beautiful stuff. And then there's more mountains behind them. And I'm like, holy fucking shit, I am in Hawaii right now. This is so great. Like I'm literally spinning in circles, and then I do a couple laps to the buoys, like going back and forth. So at one point, I'm treading water, I'm facing this one way, and it looks like there's this little kid like paddleboard or like a floaty, like a flat, kind of
Mhm.
like whatever, floating there. And there's a lady and her boyfriend, husband, whoever, about 15 feet on the other side of where the paddleboard is. And I'm about 10, 15 feet from where it is. And so I'm looking at them and they're not particularly swimming towards it. And then I'm looking around, I'm like, oh, somebody lost their, some kid lost their paddleboard. But there's no kid. Like there's nobody like looking for this paddleboard, right? And I
Mhm.
look over at it again and I'm kind of like, oh man, like maybe I should go get it and bring it to shore. And the turtle's head comes up out of the water and then ducks back down. He dives. And I was like, and so my jaw dropped enough that water went in my mouth because I was like, oh my God. And so my eyes are like popping out of my head. They had to have been. And I looked at the couple that were on the opposite side and I was like, you guys saw that, right? And the lady was like, immediately knew that I was a tourist, and she's like, he's not going to hurt you. They're just coming up for air. We see him all the time. And I was like, oh yeah, okay. So then I'm still treading water and I'm just like, oh my God, I actually got to see the turtles without having to like go somewhere and pay a tourist, $200 or whatever.
Mhm.
Like that's so fucking cool. And then on a level like me saying that I don't like swimming in rivers, some rivers, because you can't see and like the stuff that touches you, I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like I immediately think it's a shark. And so
Yes.
yeah.
That is why I don't like lakes
Okay.
or ponds or
Okay.
really big lakes. It's not as big of a deal. But yes, I'm the same way. Like, I would rather swim in the ocean than swim in a river or a pond.
It's bananas to me because anyway, like I feel
Yes.
the same, but like swimming in general is just like my favorite thing to do. And so
Yeah, same.
it's like maybe 30 seconds, 45 seconds, maybe a minute. I don't know, but I'm still treading water and my heart rate is through the fucking sky. I'm like,
Mhm.
so cool. That was so cool. Something touches my leg. And I was like, oh God, oh God. And I look down. It's the fucking turtle. His front paw slid across my leg, and then his shell also a little bit slid past my leg. And I was like, are we friends now? Do I see it now? Like, I fucking, like, in my head, I'm like, oh my God. Like,
Yeah.
insane. And the shell, if I'm like this, like the shell was this big around. And so I get home and I tell my brother about it in the afternoon. And he was like, oh, how big was the shell? And I show him and he's like, oh, that's just a teenager. Are you fucking like, are you fucking kidding me? That's so cool. And he's like, man, because they've lived here for about a year. He said
Mhm.
that they've seen them where he wouldn't be able to put his arms around the shell. And I'm like, that is bananas. That is just, it's really cool to be here and experience that shit. So I'm again very grateful. I don't have to pay for lodging because my brother lives here. So God knows that would be probably more than my plane ticket. But like, we went to the ball last night. The ball was amazing. And tomorrow we're going to the Polynesian Cultural Center. So I'll get to see like a traditional luau and they tell you about like the history. And I'm like, I love that we can, okay, first of all, I love that we can record when I'm going off and doing my own thing. If we could have
Mhm.
figured out recording while you were in Washington, we would have figured that shit out, So
Yes.
I'm just really glad that we can be flexible enough as far as like knowing that we have this passion between the two of us and that we have this
Mhm.
beautiful show. And I'm just, like I said, I'm kind of like in my grateful era that I'm like, "Ah, I love it."
I love this show too. Like every time I like listen to, because I always listen to the episodes because I don't know how you edit them. Like obviously, like I know that you're gonna edit it, but I don't know like how you're gonna put it together. So like I don't know. I always listen to it and also just to like get our listens up and all of that stuff.
Wow.
Um, but I also I want to know, but it's just like every single time I listen to it, I'm like, first of all, I'm like, you know, you don't hear things when you're like recording and then you hear stuff and you're like, God, that was fucking hilarious. And also just like how much I genuinely love doing it. Like it's hard and it's also one of those things where like I am very bad about being motivated to do things, but if I have like an external motivator, I will do it and I feel more fulfilled and more grateful.
Yes.
So like, and also we've said it before, we are genuinely bad about like if you don't live near me, if I don't see you every day, you don't exist. Like I'm sorry.
Yeah. And so let's also like social media and having the World Wide Web available to us
Mhm.
is incredible as far as like keeping tabs on like some of those military communities and some of those people. But
Mhm.
that doesn't mean that I'm talking to you every day. That doesn't mean that I'm
No.
even once a week. That doesn't really mean like I'll see your post on Facebook or Instagram or something and I'll like
Mhm.
post or I might even comment. But the
Mhm.
majority of the time it's just, you know, I'm supporting you from afar. Bye.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, this is really like super helpful in keeping us like up to date with each other, first of all, but having
Mhm.
that shared love of doing this is really like the entire.
Yes. And also, like, every single time I tell someone about it, so I'm going to sort of scoot into my understaffed story, is that I do this to myself all the time. I'll like, I really want a facial or massage or whatever. I don't do it that often, but every once in a while I'm like, I fucking deserve it. Like those are the things that's how I treat myself. Like if I get a massage, I'm like, that's the best thing ever. Or like if there's like a thing that I want, I'll just buy the thing. Like I make enough money that I can do that. But just like I have a hard time justifying self-care stuff for myself. So anyway, I got a facial. I've gotten like 4 in my entire life. And I don't know why, because they're great. Uh and I scheduled it, immediately forgot that I had scheduled it. And then it was like, I got like a text reminder. They're like, you have a facial with so and so on Saturday. And I was like, hell yes. Hell yes. Uh, because that's the type of person I am. Also, I am also one of those people where I'm like, I want a facial, but I want one right now. But
Mm,
that's not how it works.
no.
You have to schedule it in advance. And I'm like, rude. So it is always long enough that I forget. Anyway, so I'm there and I'm like talking to the lady who is definitely one of my favorites. Like she was great. Facial was amazing. And she was like, I'm also a girl's girl. So she's like, I love your nails. I was like, I will send you my nail lady's Instagram. And then she's like, she was talking about, she used to be a GS employee and she was talking about, you know, doing like being an esthetician and then also doing it and then eventually having to choose like which one she wanted. And I was like,
Sure.
yeah, like I hope that my friend and I have a podcast. I really hope we get to that point where we have to make those decisions. And she was like, oh, like that's so cool. Like, what is your podcast about? And I was sort of explaining it to you. And she's like, you had me just from the name because that is so true. Like everyone goes through that. And like every time I explain stuff like that, people are like, correct.
Every single person. Every single
Yeah.
person. Yes. Because it's like every person, especially in today's economy, especially in today's society,
Yes.
you have experienced it. Like it's, and I'm not saying that on like a judgmental level, because God knows, like the last,
No.
not even like the last 2 years, but the last
Uh-huh.
10 years, I have felt understaffed. Like just,
Mhm.
and you know, for part of that time, I had a partner, and for part of that time, I had a second income, and like, it's bananas that I'm like, how did I feel so understaffed when I actually had someone else to lean on? And especially as a single person, I'm like, oh God, I'm in
Yeah.
myself. Holy shit. But it seriously, it's it's so relatable on so many levels and for so many different types of people, people in their 20s, people in their 30s, men, women in their 40s, 50s.
Mhm.
They've experienced it. And so it's like, you know, whether it's on a uh, you know, fight or flight level, on a
Mhm.
taking care of business, on a I have 2 children and I've gotta fucking figure it out, you know, like there's
Mhm.
there's so many different levels to it that like it's relevant is my point.
Yes. Mhm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mhm. Also, we totally forgot to go into what the episode is going to be about.
We literally talked about it as we did the intro. So
Yep.
please, for the love of God, tell the people what this episode is about.
We are going to talk about some absolutely unhinged email sign-offs and emails in general. Sarah and I, we do a lot of important things, but at the end of the day, we are email senders. That's what we do during the day. And there are some that just spoke to me on a spiritual level.
On a spiritual, correct. But I'm going to add to that a little bit. We are email senders. We are cat herders. And if we throw in some microfeminism every now and then, that's more than likely going to happen. What's the other one? Iced coffee gremlins that don't get enough sleep. So
Also, yes.
combine all of that with some of the fucking emails or phone calls or voice messages that I get that I'm like, oh.
Office supply connoisseurs. Forgot about that.
Thank you. I will add that to the list. But like the amount of times that I want to reply to someone and it's that whole like per my last fucking email. Oh my God.
I'm such a petty bitch because there have been times where someone will respond to me and they're like, you didn't send me this thing. Like, you didn't send this to me. And they'll like CC my boss. And I will find the email that I told them whatever information it is. I will reply to that email and I'll CC my boss and theirs.
Oh my God. I've done it before too, that I will siphon through hundreds of emails to be like, oh, you mean on this date when I sent you this document, when I fucking gave you instructions for it, and I copied all of these people on it. So I'll respond to the current thread that they're like, oh, you didn't send it to me. And I'll just drag and drop that old email. Oh, you mean this one?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Weird. Oh. If we have any episodes that will actually make my blood pressure rise, it's this one.
For me, it was microfeminism. If we ever do one on fertility, it'll probably be that one too. But this one also, there is a special place in hell for people that ask if there's anything. And Teams, I will say, Microsoft Teams has made it a little bit better in that at least they're asking me on Teams stupid questions instead of clogging my inbox with stupid questions.
It's a double-edged sword. Okay. I'm gonna rant. This is ranty. This is what we do. There is you and I talk about this. It is acceptable for you and me. We run this show. We are on multiple social media platforms. We're texting on Snapchat and sending pictures in text. And then oh my God, look at that.
I saw.
But like, we have Instagram messages. And then also I think we've pretty much stopped using Facebook Messenger because you're not getting your messages. So that's cool. We took one out of there. But
yeah, we still have Instagram, Snapchat, and texting.
So like, there's all these platforms that we fucking send, and Trello. We also use
Trello.
So like, these fucking things that we send messages on. And in my head, we just did it as we were prepping for the show. Like, oh God, you sent me this one piece of info, and I can't remember if it was text or Snapchat. And then I realized that we're not saving the messages in Snapchat either. So there's so much shit that has been deleted because Snapchat sucks in that aspect, in my very strong opinion. But on the same level, okay, when we're talking about different platforms for GS system, right? There's email, there's Teams, there's all this stuff. I work with a team and I've said it before, we are a phenomenal team. We really are. We're a phenomenal team. Where I get legitimately angry, and one of my coworkers is going to listen to this and be like, oh, Sarah, you're being a bitch. Fine. That's fine. What legitimately fucking angers me, first off, is someone will send me an email, right? I work in the office. I work in an office space by myself. That's where all the students are. They come in for break, playing pool, playing ping pong, whatever. My desk is in there and I'm by myself. I'm supposed to have a soldier with me. That hasn't been filled in over a year. Whatever. I'm me. I'm amazing. It's fine. It's overwhelming sometimes, but it's fine. So the office next door to me is the rest of the admin staff. So like that's where our other NCO is. That's where our instructor, that's where my supervisor is, our other pay specialist. Like that's where everybody is for admin. Someone will send me an email from the room right next door. And then they walk their happy asses over to my desk 10 seconds later and say, "Did you read my email?" I fucking didn't read your email because A, I'm either with a student working on something on the phone. Obviously, I'm not just standing here waiting for your email to come in so I can read it. I'm actually fucking working. So then some of those people, not everybody, some of those people will stand there and they'll then explain to me the email before I even get a chance to read it and digest it myself. What is the fucking purpose of sending the email then when you were just going to walk over here and tell me about it anyway? Like, to me, that is such a waste of time. Such a waste.
Of everyone's time, because they're wasting your time too. Yes.
Secondary. Sorry.
Oh, no, continue.
So, again, I work with a great team. So I'm not saying that I have like a shitty job. That is not what I'm saying. But we have 2 duty phones for our section. And then with the 4 of us, we have our personal cell phones. I don't have a duty phone. And so with WhatsApp is what we use to communicate with all the students because they're coming most of the time without US numbers. WhatsApp is super easy for international numbers. So WhatsApp is what I use to contact the students. We have our NCOIC was using his personal phone to contact students also in WhatsApp to give them reporting instructions and all that stuff. Now we have 2 duty phones that also use WhatsApp and regular text messages to all of the staff and all of the students. And then our pay specialist has her personal cell phone. Same thing. I will get regular text messages from people. I will get WhatsApp messages, and I'm talking about staff. Text messages, WhatsApp messages, Teams messages, emails, and then people will just randomly leave stuff on my desk. And you expect me, as one single person, to remember 5 different levels of communication, and you to come in here and be like, "Did you get my message?" Well, what fucking platform on which device do I need to check that shit? Like, I don't want to be like that guy that it's like not that I'm not like I am technologically savvy. I am smart to figure that shit out. But like, can we just use one fucking platform? Like Teams is fabulous. I use Teams for almost everything at this point. But a lot of people don't. So like then I have to use email, which is fine. I am very used to email. I have my shit organized the way that I want to. But like, why are we using 5 different ones for the same pieces of information? Why?
Yes.
So I did get a little angry like 5 or 6 months ago, and I went to my supervisor and I was like, "For the love of God, can we have one chat in WhatsApp that has all 5 of our phone numbers? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of our phone numbers. Because then that's the one chat. If we're going to send information about any students, about any staffing, about any changes, updates, whatever, that's where we look, our admin group chat. Because then it goes to the government phones, it goes to our personal phones, and whoever checks it, checks it. But instead of us having 17 different places, we just have the one." And she actually agreed with me and implemented it. So like, thank you. But it took 2 years to do that. So
I think so where I work now, is actually pretty good because my supervisor is very like she's great. She's one of the best supervisors I've ever had. Mostly because she's like, you obviously know what you're doing. If you need help, let me know. And I'm like, excellent. So she pretty much does like, oh, you want like, I'm like, this is dumb. And she's like, how do you want to fix it? And I'm like, I want to do this. And she's like, great. Or no, because of this reason. Or like, it's not like, I agree with you. I like where you're going with this, but it's not important enough to the people who make decisions for this to be something that we can pursue right now or whatever, which I also really appreciate. A lot of people don't like that, but I'm like, great. I'm not going to waste my time. Like, I get it.
Or
like,
I'm going to earmark it and I'm going to put it in my calendar for like 3 months down the road and be like, revisit this conversation and remind myself too. Cool.
Yes. I work with a lot of soldiers and I've had this issue. Like this is an issue that I've always dealt with because of the systems that I use. And when I worked for the Corps of Engineers, it was the same thing. Like it was different systems, but the people that I worked with were a lot older. So it was like they were technologically not like, I'm like, I am very much like, if it takes me less than 5 minutes, I'm just going to do it. I'll just do it. And I'll be like, hey, next time, do this thing.
Yeah.
The amount of soldiers that are like, well, my last unit, they did it for me. I'm like, great. That's great. But there's one of me and there's like 100 of you. I'm not doing this for you. I will walk you through it as many times as you need me to. I'm not doing it for you. And if I need you to upload documents, you need to upload them. Because there for a while, not at this job, but like previous jobs, people were like, oh, can I just send it to you and can you upload it? And I was like, yeah, because I was being nice. Now I'm like, no, because it takes the same amount of effort for you to do it.
It also takes the same amount of effort for them to scan it in and email it to you. Rather than
exactly. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it for you. I will not do it for you. You can do it yourself. And the amount of times, and they usually, now most people have common sense enough not to say it to me, but they will say it to my coworkers. You're like, God, Erika's such a bitch because of this reason. And the two other guys that are in this section that I work with are great for several reasons. Because still in 2024, I've been working there for like 3 months, 4 months. My two other coworkers that are guys, they've been working there for like 3 or 4 years, right? Okay. They'll come in and they'll be like, hey, Erika, where's so-and-so? Is this meeting this time? What's going on with supply? What's going on with our GOVs? And I'm like, first of all, none of that's my lane. Secondly, why do you think I would know any of that?
Oh, God.
And
I'm so triggered.
I know. And one of my other coworkers, he's much better about it. He's great because there were a few people that like, because I'm in charge of like travel and government travel cards and stuff like that. So like people can get heated about stuff, and I genuinely understand your frustration, but also genuinely I can't fix this for you. Like and there's one guy that like sent me this email and he was a huge jerk about it. And I was just like complaining. And one of my coworkers, he's like, I work out with him in the gym. If he does that to you again, I'm going to throw a plate at him. And I was like, thank you. Like, obviously he wasn't serious, but like it's happened a couple of times between the two of them. They're like, oh no, this is like, they'll ask me and they'll jump in and be like, oh, actually it's this. I'm like, genuinely, what the fuck? And they never are like, oh, like, they're always like very respectful of me and my job and my time. Like they're never like, hey, can you do this? And they will very often be like there was one time someone was like, oh, hey, where's our supply guy? And they just keep asking. And like one of my other coworkers, he's like, Erika's not his keeper. She's not his secretary. And I was like, thank you. I hate that like a man has to say that. But like, and I do also, I know I'm getting really heated too. The job that I have now is really nice in that I've had previous jobs where people will just leave things on my desk.
Oh. Oh.
And like, if it's something I asked for, if it's like my boss is like, hey, I don't have access to the printer right now, or like, I need you to scan something. Can you do this? Whatever. I'm not scanning something for some fucking Joe Schmo down the hall because they don't fucking feel like it. Fills me with rage. Just because I'm admin does not mean I'm your secretary. Let's all say it together. Just because
I'm admin does not mean I'm your fucking secretary. Thank you so much.
Like, and it's just wild to me because it's like people that are like my age or maybe a little older. It's definitely worse with the older people. But I'm like, bro, you know that I just started working here. You know these other two guys. If they're not there and I'm the only one in the area, that it makes sense why you would ask me something.
Obviously. So I will say again, really great team. There's a couple, there's one person on our team that I bitch about regularly that I'm like, listen, not your secretary, fuck off. And thankfully, he has a great sense of humor. He has a good attitude about things. And so he's very like, oh, you're just gonna tell me to go fuck myself. And I'm like, yeah, I am.
You're right.
Because
correct.
Bye. And so I think I talked about it in the last episode, but there was like the boss's pair of scissors. And I'm like, her office is fucking 50 feet down the hall. Like, just go put it in her office. Well, the door's locked. No, it's not, because we keep it unlocked during the day. So just go fucking put it on her desk. Well, I have to go to class. Like, don't. When you pout like that, it makes me that much more stubborn to not do the thing that you're asking me to do, because you are a grown ass adult. Gross. Like,
when men are like, I'm like, I mean, women too, but I have never seen a woman do it in a professional setting before.
You know what's funny? I have worked. there's this one lady. She works at the ID card lab, and I thought that she was just the crustiest old lady. That I'm like, oh, she's one of those ladies that got a GS job and she's gonna die in that chair, right? Like, that's it. And which is like, that's a prevalent thing. And so
it is.
I'm in charge of scheduling the like coordinating with the ID card lab to get all of the students their ID cards when they hit the ground. And so this lady was who my POC was, and like the struggles that I had with her for like 6 months. And every 2 weeks, I'm going into my supervisor's office. Like, I can't do this anymore. This lady is the most difficult civilian I've ever worked with in my life. And I've been in the workforce for roughly 20 years, my first job at a grocery store. Like, oh my God. So I still remember roughly 6, 7, 8 months of coordinating with her, being the new person, and like, you know, hey, I need these ID card appointments. There was one day that she called, and you can hear her chewing on like chips, I think. And she also, you can tell, like, you've met those people that like they've been smokers for 1,000 years, and they have like that raspy voice, and you know, you hear them on the phone and they're like,
yeah.
Ugh. So I remember picking up the phone, and I had had enough that day. Whatever it was, I had nothing left to give. No kindness. No filter. And so I pick up the phone, and she tells me, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And she's like, I just want to make sure that this, you know, whatever appointment is scheduled for whatever. And I was like, you know, honestly, I am really overwhelmed. I don't think I used the term understaffed, but I basically was like, you know, I am understaffed today, and I haven't had my calendar open in 2 days because it's been a shit show here. So we're just going to pretend and say yes. And she laughed. She openly laughed. And she was like, it's a shit show here today, too. We got off the phone and my jaw was on the floor because I was like, this, like, she's so difficult, right? So, point being is that coming into my like rage era, grateful era, but rage era, and standing up for myself and standing on my own 2 feet a little bit more, I am much more comfortable at being that salty bitch civilian because I'm not just going to roll over. And I think that maybe like the lady that I used to work with for the ID card office, I feel like not just that she got that job and she was going to sit there until retirement, like my thought process has changed on it. My perspective has changed because now I'm like, man, maybe she's in a customer service job and she does the same thing every day, all day for years and years. And I'm like, she was in her rage era and I feel it in my soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome back from Welcome back from the break, everybody. We are going to talk about unhinged email sign-offs because we deserve it as a little treat. Before we get into that though, we do have some changes coming up, so definitely pay attention to our social media, our link tree. Everywhere you see us, we will remind you again at the end, but we have a really exciting update.
I think we're gonna put it out like next week. But there are exciting things happening in November, and I'm one of those people that like when I have a gift for someone, I'm like, do you want your gift now? Do you want it now?
Me too.
So hard for me to hold back, but I'm telling you, we have super exciting things happening in November. So we'll start making some announcements next week.
On to the email sign-offs. Full disclosure, I'm absolutely going to start using these and seeing and figuring out until someone notices because these are hilarious.
Go for it.
This is my personal favorite. And before I die, I'm going to find a way to get this in somewhere. Thanks for the email. Unfortunately, I filled my pockets with stones and I'm making my way out to sea. Because the amount of times people are like, I hope this email finds you well. Obviously not. I'm at work.
So good. Okay. Keep going.
This one's also really good. Regards, for now.
Yes.
This one's I keep saying that, but these are all absolute gold.
Okay.
I hope this message reaches you in higher spirits than I've experienced working with you.
Yes.
There are a few people that I worked with in my 20s that I really wish I had I needed the audacity to say that too.
Yes, 100%.
Wishing this wasn't necessary. That's also another one where I'm like,
so good. I have to use that in the future.
Yes, yes. Goodbye and good luck with the fallout. There are definitely a few jobs where I'm just like, have fun. It's been a while, but yeah.
Okay.
Here's to the future where I'm not the problem. I mean, I'm never the problem because I love my job and I'm like I genuinely love my job. And like you, like I complain a lot, but it's like I love my job for the most part. I love my coworkers. Like I love what I do. Like I genuinely am passionate about administration. And most people are like,
Yeah, most people are like, ew, paper pushers, ew, spreadsheets.
yeah,
Me, I'm like, spreadsheets get me hot and bothered, buddy.
yes, queen of the sheets, baby.
You
I I think I talked about the spreadsheet that I made last week too, but I'm like, girl, formulas, conditional formatting, excuse me.
pivot tables? Oh my
Yes.
god.
Yes. I like if somebody like when people talk about their spreadsheets, I'm legitimately impressed.
Yes. Not only that, but I'm like, teach me your ways, Yoda.
Yes.
Send
Teach me how to do it.
everything.
Yes.
I fucking love that shit. My thing
Yes.
too is it's the organization of it, and it's like,
Mhm.
that's beautiful. And then on the flip side of that, it's like when someone questions my organizational system, I'm like, you need to sit down and shut the fuck up.
You don't understand.
You
This has come from years of childhood trauma and microfixation. You have no idea what you're talking about.
you you know nothing, peasant. Sit. Like, don't.
For real.
No. Oh God. So
Ugh.
that last one that you said was
Mhm.
say it one more time.
Goodbye and good luck. Oh no. Here's to the future where I'm not the problem.
So I want to flip that and say, here's to the future where you're not the problem.
Yes. Especially like somebody's bye. Good luck, everyone. Yes. Good. Thank you for leaving.
Got it. Thank you for leaving.
um when I was in high school, there was uh we lived in like an older neighborhood and um I didn't get my driver's license till I was like 18. So like whenever I like walked everywhere
Mhm.
and when me and my friends were like being hooligans, there's this woman who lived like near my house and she had this sign in her front yard and it said all guests bring happiness to this house, some by coming and others by leaving. And I was like, I need that.
That
Amazing.
wonderful. Thank you for sharing that because that's beautiful.
Yes. I'm like, one day I'm going to have that sign and I'm going to put it in my yard. Cause facts. This one's also good. Consider this my final attempt. The amount of times I'm like, hey, I need this.
I've tried.
Hey, I need this.
I
Hey,
need to use these. Oh,
please send this to me. Thankfully, at this job I have, because I don't know if it's because I'm like at a higher level or like my boss is just like, oh, it makes sense for you to have access to all this stuff. Sorry. I know. You know how there's like the old man sneeze? I have old man yawns. I
I
do.
have the
They just
open sneeze. We're like two peas in a pod. My
um
sneezes terrify people. I'll have people come in from like the library and be like, "Are you okay?" They're
yeah.
super flown about like.
Ugh,
Oh God.
amazing. Yes, but that's how I yawn. But shit, what was I saying? I was saying something. Oh, I have access to like um other like HR systems. So most of the information, if I need it, I can just pull it instead of having to like go to the person and ask them to pull it and then,
Absolutely.
So that is really nice.
That is nice. Cause that kind of stuff too, like, oh God, the amount of student computers, like my nose is even flaring. The amount of student computers that I have to fucking fix because people don't know what they're doing, including in the classroom services fucking office.
Mm-hmm.
Every week, maybe not every week. It's gotten less, maybe. Once a month. We'll be generous. Once a month, I bitch to my guys in the IT section where I'm like, just give me access to this so I don't have to bother you 15 times a week. Give me access. Well, you got to work in IT to do that. I don't give a fuck. I do my, like, those bitches in classroom services make probably twice as much money as I do, and I do twice the fucking work that they do, and I do my own job in IMSO. Fuck those guys. Oh, God, I get so angered.
One thing that I've noticed, especially, so my job was created not that long ago, and I am a GS9.
Delicious.
The job that I have now, I am not doing anything that I have not done in previous positions, with the exception of being over the volunteer program. That is and that's not even a very big part of my job. That is the only thing. And I think what's frustrating is that historically, I'm on my soapbox, fully on it.
Do it.
And this is true for federal jobs. Correction. I feel like this is true for federal jobs, and I'm willing to bet it's true for
many
jobs. Yeah, many industries, right? Administrative jobs are historically jobs held by women, and therefore they are undervalued, just like teachers, just like nurses. Like,
yes,
they do not get paid as much, not because the job isn't difficult or it doesn't require a lot of, like, admin requires a lot of soft skills, and those are undervalued because those are skills that are associated with women or being feminine or whatever. And those jobs don't pay as much, even though they're just as important as, like, they take time and effort, and it takes like, you may not have a degree in it, but like, you and I both know that, like, we've been doing this for over 10 years. I don't care if you have a master's degree in business administration. There are a lot of things that you just aren't going to know unless you have the experience. Like, it is.
Not only that, but like the people who are in those leadership positions or the supervisory positions, there's a lot of stuff that they're not going to know without their admin person or without an administrator or without whoever. And it's like the amount of information that admins have access to, and they get paid so little compared to others. I'm like, you guys, admin can take over the fucking world. Like,
yeah.
So some of the email responses, because we've actually sent screenshots back and forth to each other about this specific topic that I'm like, we have to do an episode on this. And that I've saved a few of them because they're fucking hilarious. One of them is you can't handle the regards. Thank you.
This one I have to tell you. Actually, there's a couple after this.
Okay.
But I want to hear yours.
Okay.
Dealing with too much, please keep your distance. I'm using that.
I'm using that one immediately.
I'm in a mood. Proceed with caution.
Daily.
Sincerely, taken aback.
Yes.
Please hesitate to reach out with any questions.
I've seen that one before and I love it. It's one of my favorites.
Yes.
This one I absolutely love, and I will use it like very soon. Deeply disinterested.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Live,
yes.
laugh, toaster bath. Little dark,
yes.
but love it. All blues and absolutely no clues.
Ooh.
It's a good one.
Correct.
I hope this email finds you well. I, on the other hand, am unwell.
Yes.
Thank you. This one also made me laugh because we all love some Alanis Morissette. Like, if we're talking about good 90s music, Alanis Morissette is my immediate go-to.
Yeah.
So this sign-off is, isn't it ironic?
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Send it. The rock bottom one also came up on my list, so thank you for that.
Mhm.
This one made me actually cackle. Also music related, but
Mhm.
I was like, I can imagine sending this to like to like someone in G3 and knowing that they're gonna be like, what the fuck? Peace up, A-Town down. Yes. Like,
Yes.
thank you. Oh, yeah. The deeply disinterested one is I'm like the NCOIC in my office. I could send all of these to him and he will know. He's like pinpoints tiny details. So I'm going
Mhm.
to start doing this to him first and just see what his reaction is because he'll notice. It's going to be fantastic.
There's a couple of my coworkers that I think I'm gonna start sending these to. Like the guys in my office. Fuck, shit.
Oh God. Are you okay?
It's I got my standing desk that was like $60. This may come to you as a shock, but it's not the most sturdy piece of furniture I
How
own.
dare you?
I know. I know. So if I hit it lightly, it's like so.
You should. I'm going to send you a picture of my getup right now. Because I'm on vacation. So of course, my one suitcase that was full of clothes that included my ball gown, so it was took up the most space, plus an
Mhm.
extra pair of heels for the ball, and then my carry-on and my backpack. Okay, I'm gonna send you a picture of what the bed looks like because I'm currently using the desk that they have in this guest room for the setup, right?
Mhm.
So I had to transfer everything from the desk to the bed. Okay, and I'll superimpose the photo in the show. I don't care. Like when I vacation, I'm on vacation. I don't have to fucking
Mhm.
worry about this.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. So like, you know, this is the type of like I may not always be staying obviously at a friend's house or a relative's house. It might be a hotel, it might be whatever, but you got to be a little savvy in the, resources that you have and you make a fucking standing desk with a giant chip box. So
Yes.
it's fine. And then if my brother had this little monitor stand or whatever that my nephew actually
Mhm.
made. If that
Mhm.
hadn't have worked, I was gonna take the chip box and turn it so it was on the tall side. Because I'm like, I'll figure it out. It's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know if our audience knows this, but I interview standing up because I can't I'm very mobile. And so like sitting down, like it's probably also an ADD thing because I'm always like rocking back and forth. I'm sure someone
Yeah.
noticed it. So like I don't want to be in my chair doing that. And then also like your voice just sounds better when you're standing. That's like recording 101. So I like that's a normal thing for me. So like trying to find stuff that's tall enough so that it's, obviously at a good angle to like record, it can be
Yes.
difficult. So, yeah.
Yeah, whenever if anyone's ever like, "Oh, you look so cute, like send me a picture or whatever," like anybody. I'm like, "First of all, let me get some good lighting." And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "I'm not taking pictures unless there's good lighting."
Obviously.
Sorry, not sorry.
Not at all. No. Never gonna happen. Or it's gonna have like a filter on it. And
Yeah.
I'm absolutely one of those people that I'll put a filter on it because I'm like, wow, I don't have any pores. I absolutely have pores, bitches. But that filter makes me look amazing.
Yeah, or like you see those usually it's dudes. I'm sure women do it too, but they're like I don't use filters or like why do women use filters? Like they're trying to trick us. I'm like, bitch, if you can't tell that there's a filter, especially if it's like a Snapchat filter,
Come on.
it's not her that's the problem. You're an idiot. I feel the same way about like, oh, men lie, but women wear makeup. I'm like, if you think that my like eyeliner is natural,
Oh,
we have bigger problems.
see, I'm also like I also kind of cheat in that area because my eyeliner is tattooed. So because I fucking hate putting on makeup every day. My eyebrows were also, they've been tattooed a couple of times, but that shit fades. So, like,
Oh,
but like, if it was honestly permanent, like, I would keep it like that. But yeah, my eyeliner is a little faded, so I am putting it on every couple of days now. But yeah, there's an absolute like dark gray line. It's a little less than what I have right now.
how did I not know this about you?
I don't know. But I got it done initially in Germany because my hair naturally is so blonde that my
Huh.
eyelashes, if I don't have mascara on, I look
Yeah.
Algerian.
Yeah.
And I don't like, I just, I have lashes and I think my eyes are really pretty. And so I wear mascara every day. And there was a time too that I was wearing like fake lashes. Like I would get fake lashes every few weeks. And then
Mhm.
I was also dyeing my eyelashes and like
Oh, yeah.
if I stopped caring. Like
Yeah.
there's a limit to my like self-care level and getting lashes
Mhm.
dyeing my real lashes has stopped
Yeah.
already. So
Yeah, I always thought, like, I just got my eyebrows done. They look so good. I thought about getting my eyebrows tattooed, but I've seen so many that have been done badly that I'm too nervous.
the lady that I went to in Germany was a recommendation from a friend, and she
Mhm.
used to race cars professionally in Germany. Super cool lady, and now she tattoos facial makeup permanent. Like she is a super cool lady, and her name was Sandra. I'd have to remember what her last name was, but she was incredible. So yeah, she did both of my she did eyes and eyebrows, and she did a touch up for me before we left Germany so that I could, have a couple of years to try to find someone. But yeah, best decision I ever made because I if I don't have mascara on, it doesn't even look like I have eyelashes. Like
That's terrible. I Yes, when I was younger, because when I was, like, little, I was, like, platinum blonde,
yeah.
and I don't know, and even, like, my natural hair color is pretty light, but for some reason, I have dark eyelashes, and I have dark eyebrows, and I have blonde body hair because I am one of God's favorites. I'm not even, like, it's great.
Am I wildly jealous of you? Yes. Cuz I am the opposite.
Ooh, bummer.
Hmm. Except my leg hair. I can go fucking weeks without
Oh, yeah,
shaving
me
my
too.
legs, and you can't tell.
Yeah,
It's wonderful.
yeah.
I don't know if that's
Mhm.
because it didn't used to be like that when I was a teenager. I was a fucking mini Sasquatch. I had to shave my legs daily. It was awful. Now as an
I
adult,
think
I'm like, hell yeah, this is wonderful.
I think just being a teenager, your hormones are like, we're gonna make you look the ugliest you've ever been, and your anxiety is gonna be the highest it will ever be.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Enjoy. Oh, it's awful.
One thing that I always hated is when people are like, "This is the best time of these are the best years of your life." I'm like, I fucking hope not.
No, it better not be. Like I'm in my 30s and I'm fucking loving life.
Oh, 30s, hands down the best decade.
Oh,
100%. So good.
you're still like figuring it out, and 30s, you're like, welcome, bitches. This is my life.
Yeah, you like and you know what you're doing. You
Oh,
have well, correction. You know what you're doing more than you did in your 20s. Career-wise, at least for me, I'm like, okay, like this is the type of job I want to do. This is what I like I sort of have a direction in my life. I am more comfortable in who I am and I have like good friends and I have hobbies that don't involve binge drinking
and drugs.
and drugs. And I don't know. It's just
You're not wrong. I will say
yes.
on the career path, I'm good. How do I say that? I'm good at a lot of things. I'm and I'm not saying that like, oh, I'm the best at a lot of things. No, I'm good at a lot of things. And people is my work. Like
Mhm.
which sounds really corny, but like on a level of like helping people, I need to have a job where I either work with people or help people that doesn't entirely drain me, but it still has to drain me because I have to have people. I worked remotely
Yes.
for an attorney when we first moved to Germany for like 6 months, and I was
Mhm.
dying at month 6 because I needed human interaction. So even with me working remotely, because one day I will be fully remote, and God knows where that's going to take me or
Mhm.
how I'm going to get there. I'll get there soon, but like I'm still going to have to interact with people, right? And so I think like the podcast obviously will help me with that a little bit, but I'm trying to imagine that and really like try to like see what that looks like future wise, because if I'm fully remote, I'm mostly working on my laptop and that's not people, right? So I'm like,
Mhm.
how do I do that? What am I going to be doing? But all I know is it's going to be amazing and I'll figure it out when I get there. I don't know.
Yeah, I worked from home exclusively for a long time. And I had the same thing. It was hard. I need to be around. I do much better when I talk to people and I'm around people, like face to face around people. I just like it a lot more. Like I know now everyone's like, "Oh, I wish I could just work remotely." And I'm like, "I don't."
Yeah. See, and what I ended up happening in Germany is I worked full time for the attorney remotely. But I ended up
Mhm.
getting like a little contractor job at AFES, like through
Mhm.
AFES with an American company. And
Mhm.
it was great. It was like I think 6 to 10 hours a week that I had to be at
Mhm.
the building and sales store or at the PX. And I
Mhm.
made my own hours. I just had to communicate, which I'm good with. Like I it was wonderful. That was just the right amount of peopling that I
Mhm.
needed in order to function. Because I was
Yeah.
my partner would get home and I would pounce like I haven't
Yes.
acted with anyone for hours and I need you to do like let's go to the
Y-
store, let's do something.
Yeah.
And I kn like and I hindsight, I'm like, "Wow, I annoyed the shit out of him." But,
Mhm.
I needed there was other things going on that I was like, "Oh, that's what was going on, like, that's what happened, okay."
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. And I think that's true for me too. Cause I'm just definitely like, "You're a person." And he's like, "Yeah."
"Oh, leave me alone." Like, because 'cause they've been peopling all day, and it's
Yes.
like,
And
"Oh."
our yeah, and my partner is not a people person anyway. So he really needs to like decompress after. And then I'm like, "Hello." And he's like, "Oh."
He's like and it's funny too because now there's so many things, like, in having that thought process that I remember,
Mhm.
like, my mom would come home from work, and I've been at school all day, and then I was left on my own after the bus dropped me off for, like, 3 hours before they got like, either of my parents got home, and so as soon
Mhm.
as they get home, I'm following them around like, "This is what we're doing, this is what happened today," and blah, 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 and all the school drama and stuff, and I still
Mhm.
remember there were several times that my mom would, like, slam the bathroom door in my face and be like, "I just need 10 minutes." And I understand that now. Like, I understand,
Yes.
like, "Oh my god, I'm such a dick." But, like, that's what kids do, you know?
For real.
Kid thing, but it's funny because I, like, reflect on some of that now that I'm like, "Wow. Boundaries, buddies. Boundaries."
Mhm. That's it for us, guys. Remember, we have super exciting news next week, so make sure to tune in. Very important, very exciting. Remember to like, subscribe, follow us, leave reviews because they really do help. We appreciate every single one of you. Without you, we would be potting into the void. We love you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm tired.
A little bit.
Audacity you have to be so damn cute each and every day must only be able to be purchased at Costco in bulk. Because you got a lot of it. Being so damn cute every single day. How do you do it?